The 84th Indianapolis 500 on ABC Sports, brought to you by Budweiser, made with the freshest all-natural ingredients for brewery fresh taste. Goodyear, #1 in tires. The Home Depot, where low prices are just the beginning. And NorthernLight.com, just what you've been searching for.
We remain under caution here at the 84th running of the Indy 500, and during this caution we had again pit stops. Juan Montoya, watch him in the middle. The crew will just do an outstanding job. The Target Chip Ganassi team get him out in a little over 7 seconds. 7.6 and he's out. Jeff Ward at the top and Buddy Lazier. Buddy Lazier took 10.6 and Ward 10.1 seconds. Well, we go back to Al Michaels for his perspective.
Okay, Bob, still under the yellow right now, and an interesting situation shaping up in as much as Juan Montoya was a man who was a rookie last year on the championship auto racing circuit. Wound up winning 7 races, was not only the rookie of the year, but he was the champion. And then there was some doubt as to whether he would ever run at Indy because of the split between CART and the IRL, something that racing fans, I think, gotten very sick of hearing about. But there seems to be some sort of conciliation. There have been attempts at mediation. The two sides, I don't want to say, are necessarily very close to getting together, but much closer than they have been in the last few years. And wouldn't that be something if Juan Montoya comes over and wins the Indianapolis 500? The other interesting things, I think, right now involving this race are the fact that you have a couple of fellows who have won the race in Buddy Lazier and an Eddie Cheever, who are in the top 4 right now, so they seek to win a second Indianapolis 500. And the multiple winners, of course, of this race are the legendary names, people like A.J. Foyt, who won it 4 times, Al Unser Jr., who won it 4 times, and, of course, our colleague, Ari Lyondike, was a 2-time winner, as we go back to Bob Jenkins.
Green flag is about a half a lap away now. Montoya continues to lead. This caution is because Ayrton Dare apparently had an engine problem. And right behind Montoya is Jeff Ward, running for A.J. Foyt and the Harris A.J. Foyt force. And they get ready for the restart. Pace begins to quicken up just a little bit, and the green is out. We're back racing at Indianapolis. A couple of lap cars ahead of Montoya, but he makes quick work of them as he heads for turn 1.
And that's what he really wanted to do right there, because Jeff Ward, he knew he was behind him, and he figured if I can get past those back markers, give me some breathing room.
Well, look at Ward. Ward had to make a pass on the short shoot. Johnny Unser was on the outside there, but Ward was able to get the job done.
Down to Jackaroo.
Fellow South American, as you watch our Ayrton Dare, as you watch your fellow South American from Colombia, how disappointed are you?
Second time in a row. We're leading in Las Vegas and we broke the gearbox. Now we're running good. My car had one of the best cars in the field, and we're gonna go for the front. I mean, again, now is the motor that blew up, but it's really disappointing.
This is the heartbreak, Leslie Goodell, of the Indianapolis 500. It's right on Ayrton Dare's face.
Robbie Buell's feeling the same kind of heartbreak right now. A few minutes ago, you thought you were going to get back in the race with it was just a gearbox problem, but it's something else. What is it?
Yeah, no, it's motor related. Not sure what it is, but it's not a quick fix, unfortunately. So it's pretty frustrating for the whole Purex crew. You know, we had high hopes here, and it's really frustrating.
The race was obviously going very smoothly for the first 66 laps for everybody out there, and suddenly everything changed.
Yeah, no, we were happy with the car, and we were just going to keep adjusting it through the pit stops. And then that pit stop, something broke, so unfortunate.
Robbie Buell, the IRL points leader coming into this race, Bob, so obviously a very big disappointment.
And a good battle for second position on the racetrack. We're on board with Buddy Lazier, who's third, but he is pursuing Jeff Ward. And Jerry Punch, what's wrong with Cheever?
Eddie Cheever radioed in, said the gearbox may be gone. I've got a bad vibration. Owen Snyder said, try to get it back in here. Eddie said, I may try to ride it out, but it's getting worse. The vibration is very bad. Eddie said it is the gearbox. That was a big concern today for a number of teams.
And Buddy Lazier has taken second spot from Jeff Ward in turn number 3.
His next target right now is the leader, Montoya. Montoya leading by about 2 seconds over Buddy Lazier, but there's a lot of traffic ahead of Buddy Lazier that will cost him some time. Once he gets through that traffic, then he can set his sights on Montoya.
And it has been all Juan Montoya so far in this race, except for the first 26 laps when Greg Ray led the race. There are the rookies and where they stand. Jason Leffler is the second best rookie, 15th. Lazier 18th. Hornish 19th. Darre just dropped out in 23rd. Hillenberg is out in 28th, and Fisher was eliminated earlier, and she will finish in the 31st position. As far as rookie winners here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it hasn't happened since Graham Hill came here and won as a rookie in 1966. We may have a situation this year in which a rookie wins the race.
Good job. -9 to the leader.
Well, if Montoya keeps running this strong, I think we're going to have some green light specials at those Target stores, not blue light specials, Bob.
He is just doing a terrific job. There is Robbie Gordon, who is running in 5th position.
Robbie Gordon pursuing Jimmy Vasser. Jimmy Vasser looks like he's going a little bit better than earlier. They must have gotten him a gurney flat back in that rear wing, so the car's handling a little bit better through the turns for him.
Vasser running 4th and Gordon in 5th position. Montoya, by the way, has led for 255 consecutive miles. He has a 4-second lead on Buddy Lazier. Coverage of the 84th running of the Indianapolis 500 will continue after this word from our ABC stations. Welcome back to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 137 laps are now completed, and we go to Jackaroo.
Larry Leyendyke, you surmised that maybe the way Vasser is running, that they got that wicker bill back in. Indeed, they did. In the meantime, they also cleaned the channel out. So if they have to make another wicker bill change, it should slide in a lot easier. Jerry?
And Jackaroo, Eddie Cheever's pits up here. They're able to smile a little bit now. He said the vibration he had in the gearbox a moment ago was bad in 4th, even worse in 5th. But when he shifted to 6th gear, it has gone away at least momentarily. They had their fingers crossed that Eddie can finish the last 62 laps.
Salazar there sneaking up on Gordon in the battle for the 5th position. Gordon is 5th, and Salazar right there in the 6th position. And Eliseo has had a terrific race today. ABC Sports is the place for great racing action next Sunday. It's the Miller 225 live from the Milwaukee Mile. Don't miss it next Sunday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time here on ABC.
Salazar and Jeff Ward, both driving for A.J. Foyt, are really hooked up today. Salazar here following Robbie Gordon, and Jimmy Vasser have run strong all day.
Well, they're going to need a hook and try to hook on to Montoya if they're going to have any shot for this victory.
Billy Boat, A.J. Foyt's 3rd driver, is shown back in 16th position, 2 laps down. We have 7 cars on the lead lap.
And they're all running pretty close together, starting from 3rd place or 4th place all the way through 7th place in the Cheever.
Well, there's some really good racing going on out there. It's just Montoya hasn't been in the mix. He's been ahead of the mix.
Every time we've had a restart, he's been able to separate himself from the rest of the pack and leave the battling to those behind him.
What has been happening is Montoya has been putting a lot of lap cars in between him and his pursuers. And these pursuers have to get around these back markers in order to go after him. And then every time he breaks away.
And Greg Ray is back on the racetrack. Remember, he hit the wall a little bit earlier in turn number 2 and damaged the right front suspension, but they have repaired it, and he comes back in competition. And here's the wheel-to-wheel battle down the main straightaway as Eliseo Salazar passes Robbie Gordon and takes 5th position.
And we saw Robbie Gordon moving his hand in the cockpit.
Well,
and we don't know what that was all about.
Well, that's called intimidation, but Salazar was taking it all and maybe giving back a little.
And now he's passing Jimmy Vasser, just blowing right by him on the backstretch.
Yes, indeed.
So Salazar moves up to 4th place.
Well, Leslie Goodell has an update on Sarah Fisher.
Bob, unfortunately, Sarah Fisher is done for the day. Too much damage to the suspension in both the front and the rear, so she is out of the race. But I was asking what it was like and what she actually learned in her first Indy 500. She said after hearing so much about it, what it's like to race in the Indy 500, she's glad she actually got to find out for herself.
Vasser repasses Salazar, and the battle continues.
Well, Salazar really got held up there by, it looked like Johnny Unser, but really got held up and gave Vasser a chance to get that run.
Right now it looks like Robbie Gordon is getting held by Johnny Unser as well.
Juan Montoya leads at the Indianapolis 500 with 142 laps completed. Buddy Lazier 3.5 seconds behind.